That's a very Zen idea there. The journey is the journey. Obviously, for a filmmaker, the journey is mostly more interesting than the arrival. And since I was a little boy, I always wanted to leave the country where I was living in. So I was fascinated by other places, and I always wanted to know how other people live, and if they just lived as uncomfortably as the Germans. And I found out they didn't. Other people had humor. Great discovery in my life. And but I mean, the journey is of course a metaphor, and I always looked at films as a way to find out how to lead a better life. I mean, not in terms of higher standards, but how to live your life in a better way. So, and there's nothing more exciting than the road. Once you get there, you can look back at the road, and most people do that. They take pictures on the journey, and then they come home and they look back and they want to know where they have been. That's sad. I'd rather know where I am while I'm going. So I'm interested in the journey. But that's a metaphysical question. See, for these women in the film, because in a strange way, their life's journey had ended with the act of violence against them, and a lot of them get abandoned by their husbands, and for a lot of them life ends, which is not necessary. And that's the main work of these women, to convince these victims that life goes on and that they have to look at life more positively, and that it's not their fault what happened to them, and that if it's only for their children, they have to continue the journey. And the women that we interviewed, in a very courageous and bold way, did that. And